Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for another volume manga review. Welcome once again. Sorry about that intro. For some reason, it's going slow. We're going to be doing another manga volume review. This is going to be one that you will see in a manga haul in just a few days. It will be out this week, so it's a pretty good one, and I'm actually very excited about it. I didn't think I was going to like it, to be honest, but I am trying to branch out onto what I'm used to reading, and this was a little bit out of my way. Before I say anything else, though, guys, if you haven't done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel. The next giveaway is going to be open in just a few days, so make sure you subscribe. This is a great way to celebrate Valentine's Day. If you are celebrating Valentine's Day, good for you. If you're not, if you're like me and married and wish you could be celebrating, but you're stuck in a snowstorm, then oh well, enjoy as much as you can. We're gonna have fun with our daughters more than likely, but enjoy this video for sure. Okay, guys. If you guys want to know more about this one, you can figure it out through 7Cs. It's the ones that produce this one, but the name is super long. I'm not even going to say it over and over again, but I'll say it once for you guys. It's called "We Swore to Meet in the Next Life, and That's When Things Got Weird." I don't know why the manga slash light novel industry right now is obsessed with like long names. I don't know if you guys have noticed. There's a lot of animes, sorry, a lot of mangas and also animes, but mangas and light novels that have super long names, and I'm like, why? Like, it's so hard to find, you guys, and I do understand. A lot of them end up having like a one word or two word shortened name to it, but then why not go with that from the beginning, right? But not the point. Another thing that I noticed about this one, and right off the bat you can tell by reading the first chapter, is that this manga kind of follows the up and coming genre. It's been kind of more popular where you have a romance between someone who's older and someone who is younger. Personally, I have been avoiding those just because the first ones that came out kind of seemed like they were more on the ecchi side. This one, definitely not. This is actually a true love story, and I really do enjoy it. In fact, in the back it says "Love of a Lifetime" or two. Essentially, what happens in the story is that we have this princess and her knight who cannot marry each other, right? Because for obvious reasons, he's a knight, she's a princess, she's royalty. So they promise each other that if they reincarnate in a second life, then they will meet and they will be together, because hopefully in that next life it's they're able to, right? So we see it in her perspective, and essentially the manga starts with that intro, and then we get the first chapter of her basically explaining how she went through this whole life and she never found her knight. And she is now 39, soon to be 40, and still nothing. She's like, I hope we don't meet each other super old. And she's thinking, well, he was 10 years older than me, so maybe now he's 50, and like we kind of are at the end of our lives. Not really, but that's basically what she's thinking. By the time we meet each other and see each other, we're going to be super old. Well, in that whole train of thought, she sees a group of young people, and she's like, oh, to be that young. And she's thinking also in her head, it's crazy to think that those kids could actually be my kids, although she's never married, because she's always waited for her knight. Well, turns out to be that between those kids, there is a young boy who actually is her knight and approaches her, and the moment he sees her, he says, "Princess, will you marry me?" Right off the bat, he knows who she is. I guess they kept the same kind of form of face and everything, and the hard part to this is that he is now 17 and she is 39. They did reincarnate in the same world, but they reincarnated at different times, putting him actually younger than her, by 22 years. So, huge gap. It is. We can't say that it's not a big gap. So, if she was like 39 and he was like 32, not a big deal. If he was 17 and she was maybe 22, maybe not a huge deal. I mean, you are talking about late college and late high school, so it's kind of a big deal sometimes. But you're talking about 22 years. So, obviously, she rejects him from the beginning, from the get-go, and they meet up a few times in the first volume. And essentially the biggest concern for her is not really of what he thinks. Well, in the beginning it is. He might think I'm too old. He might think that, why even waste my time? But he shows her over and over again that he's still the same knight, and he still overheals for her. He's been waiting for her. But the biggest concern from her, I guess you can say, that we see in this volume is other people. And, that's... I understand you shouldn't care what other people think about. It's your relationship. It's no one else's relationship. Who gives? But when you put it in that perspective, in Japan being more conservative than most countries, it's hard for her to be walking with him, holding hands, without her overhearing people saying, "Did you see that lady, that older lady holding hands with that kid?" It didn't take me too long to understand her point of view. She feels like she's taken away his youthful time and all that. And I understand that obviously they're reincarnated, but at the same time, she still lived those years herself. She still had, I would say, maybe her own type of fun at that age, and she doesn't want to take that away from him. She's thinking, why stick with me? I'm already 39. You still have like your whole life ahead of you. And she mentions that, and he keeps saying, I don't want to do anything else but be by your side. So it's a very cute love story. There's 2 chapters in between that I didn't mention, or actually one in between and one at the end. The in between is one of his friends approaches her, basically tells her that give him a chance. It's a female friend, and she actually grew up with him, and she's also in love with him, but she is nice enough to say, I want what makes him happy other than just me, right? Me being with him. So, not a lot of push from her, from like, this is my guy, but still, a little bit of, we know there's going to be some trouble with her, at least her feelings, right? And at the end of the series, we do get a little chapter of them before in their first life as princess and knight, and we see their interactions there. How he basically tried his best to be formal, and she just was over heels over him too. I think he bought her he didn't buy her. He got her flowers from a different kingdom, and they're like cheap flowers. They're just from the floor. But she's in love with it. It's a bouquet that he gave her. She's in love with them. And the people, like the servants, are like, we need to get rid of these flowers. These are commoner flowers. We need to get better flowers for the kingdom. And essentially the knight understands. He overhears and understands. He's like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. So he goes and tries to get rid of those flowers, and she ends up saving them. And we realize that from there, that I guess they both kind of knew that there was something happening between them. So, anyways, that's in a nutshell the whole first volume. It's a love story between an older lady and a younger guy. If you get that premises, it kind of sounds weird, but it actually is a cute story, and I do recommend it. Especially if you're into romance. I think this is going to be one that a lot of people really into romance would enjoy. I've seen other mangas, like I said, in this kind of genre that's up and coming, where you have an older character in love with a younger character, and some of them are ecchi. I can tell just right off the bat, like, okay, this one's taking it to a different direction that maybe some romance readers are not going to enjoy. But I think if you're a romance reader, you would enjoy this one. Out of 10, I'm giving this one a 7.5. Probably will buy the second volume and review it for you guys. So make sure you keep on watching so you guys can see that one. Probably won't come out until the next or 2-3 months because 7Cs are a little bit slower than Yen Press. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this manga, and let me know what I should be reading. I know some people have been giving some suggestions. I'm hoping to go live sometime this weekend or maybe early in the week to kind of just answer comments and talk about what's going on here in this channel. So, thank you guys again for your love and support. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like, and share. And guys, like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.